Okay, so you're going to get 2 long strips of white paper here, and you are going to want to glue these together. So I'm going to put a frame of glue on one of them, and then put some glue down the middle. Lay the other one on top. Okay, and we let that sit to dry. You want it as even as you possibly can. And while this is drying, we can begin painting our plate. And you're going to begin with a paper plate, and you're going to pick one color of paint. Okay, now the thing with this is you're going to want to paint front and back, but so this is painted, so I will put this on the drying rack. Alright, so while your paint is drying, you can begin working on the second part of this assignment. And you're going to take the bottom and fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it in half again. So you should end up with 4 sections, and in these 4 sections you're going to draw various objects to fit within your theme for your piece. So you have to decide upon your theme, which you should have already done before beginning, and you want to draw those here, and you always want to draw with a pencil first, okay? So my theme is going to be art, since I'm an artist. So I'm going to make my mobile all art things. So I'm going to draw various art supplies. Okay, and if you need to separate these by drawing lines with pencils, that's fine too. So you can do this while your paper plate is drying. Maybe do a few and then check on your plate. Alright, so after you get your items sketched, you want to outline them with a Sharpie. Okay, after you outline with Sharpie, you want to go ahead and erase all your pencil marks. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to start coloring in the items that I have drawn. So you can see I started with marker here. Now you can mix your media, so you can use crayon, marker, paint, color pencil, or you can do everything the same media. This is up to you. For this top one, I think I'm going to use some watercolor paint because it's watercolor. Now that this is complete, I'm going to start cutting these things out. So I've already kind of begun the process here. So I'm cutting them out, and as you're cutting them out though, you're going to have to flip them over and you're going to have to draw again on the back, because when we make something 3D, we look at it from all different sides. So we have to have our backs look just as interesting as the front. So I just haven't colored this one, but you get the idea. Okay. So here's 2 items. I'm working on these. So I have 3 items already cut out, and go slow with this process. It helps me to kind of cut the whole rectangle part out and then go into the tinier shapes. Now I'm trying to still see my black Sharpie, so I'm staying really close to the line, as close as I can. I know it's going to be tricky. Okay, so I have my items cut out, so I will just flip them over and I will just draw again the same drawing that I did on the other side. Now on this, you can tell some of the glue didn't get it all together, so I'm going to have to put a little dot of glue on the middle there just to keep them together. And you want to think about outlining your edge too with the black line, because that's what it looks like on the front. So that's what I'm going to do here on this one as well. So all of this is a process, but remember, good art takes time, and it's all worth it. If we don't do all this, it's not going to look as great as it could. Okay, so once you have all of your little pieces ready to go, you are going to have to punch holes in them where you want them to hang from. So you have to determine how you want to hang them. So like my paintbrush, do I want to hang it like this, or do I want it to be hanging like this? Okay. Now when you punch the holes into your piece, you want to make sure you're going down pretty far into the image itself, okay? So let's pretend, make a little sketchbook here. Okay, let's pretend this is what I'm going to hang. And I punch a hole. If you guys can tell, I broke the edge of it, so I cannot use that. Okay, even if you come down a little further, it's still a little tight, okay? You want to make sure you get down pretty far, and that's about where you want to punch your hole, so there's a lot of space above it. Now you don't want to go like right way down to the bottom, you just want to get pretty far down. So for this guy, about right there, okay? And you want to try to get it in the center of whatever it is that you have created so it hangs evenly. If you put it like over here, it's going to tilt down and hang. This is how we're going to get them to hang from the mobile. So I have those ready to go. And now I'm going to take my paper plate, and I have drawn a spiral on the paper plate. And you want to cut on that line. Alright, so now you can kind of see if I pull this apart, it becomes much more three-dimensional. And this is how our mobile will start to come to life a bit more. Alright, so I'm going to put it back down flat, and now what I have to do is I have to punch holes around this spiral. So you want to count how many items you made. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made 6, so that means I have to have 6 hole punches. And you don't want to put all 6 right by each other. You want to spread them out. And what you might want to do is actually mark them with your pencil. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just to make sure they're even so you don't punch them all too early and then you have nothing for the middle. Alright, and then you, here at the tip of your spiral, you want to give one more punch. So these are for the 6 items I made, and you want to give it one more hole punch right in the center here. Right there. And that's how we're going to hang it, okay? And I'm going to do that part for you, but I need your help in hole punching that. So, in total I have 7 holes. 1 is for the string that will hang from the ceiling. The others are to hang our items from. Alright, so now let's talk about tying knots. And you're going to get some string. So I have some string pre-cut. If you want them to be shorter, you can cut them shorter, okay? It depends on how far you want them to hang down from your piece. So, let's begin by learning how to tie some knots, alright? So, you're going to go through the opening, and you're going to pull through just a little bit with this side. This side is much longer. And you're going to crisscross them. Just like you're starting to tie a shoe. So notice how they are crisscrossed. And you're going to tuck the shorter side under. And pull. Now you have to do that again, okay? So you crisscross the short side with the long side, and you tuck under and pull. Now you don't want to pull too tight because you might rip your paper, so just pull just enough so it feels good. If you do not do this 2 times, it will fall off. You must do it 2 times. And now I'm going to trim that little extra piece. Okay, and now see, this can hang, but I have to get it attached to my paper plate. All right, so I think I'm going to first get all of my items that are going to hang. I'm going to just get these tied with string before I attach them to my plate. Okay, so now let's put it all together. So the way it's going to hang from this center part. So these are going to be the lowest ones on your mobile, the ones that are on the outside of your spiral. As you get to the center, those are going to be higher up on your mobile. So you got to determine which ones you want to hang at the bottom. Okay, so think about weight. Do you want your heavy ones at the bottom, your bigger ones? Do you want your lighter ones at the bottom? How are you going to balance this out? All right, so I'm going to I think I'm going to start with my sketchbook. Okay, so you guys are going to do the same thing. Now, if you don't like how long the string is, again, you can cut it down. You're going to go through the opening, and you're going to do the same process you did over here. You're going to crisscross and then tuck under. Do it twice. Crisscross, tuck under, and then trim off the little piece, the shorter piece. You don't want that hanging. So I just trim it a little bit, just like that. So now it's starting to come about. Now it's hanging, so I just got to do all the rest of mine. Attached now, and it's kind of hard to show you on the camera, but if I lift it up, all the items are going to start to hang down, and it becomes a work of art based on a theme. My theme is art, and it is art that can move. You have created a mobile, and we will hang these from the ceiling, and they'll be so beautiful.